Hello everyone and welcome back to Vision Coding. In today's video, we are diving into the complete breakdown of TCS interview questions that were asked for the prime role. The interview had just one round, but it was conducted with three different experts, each for technical, managerial, and HR. The interview began with the TR who asked these questions. The first question that was asked was introduce yourself, highlighting the key strengths and weaknesses. Now, to answer this question, you have to follow a basic format. The first thing to keep in mind is that you have to give a personal intro. Now, the personal intro includes your name, the native place you are residing. Okay? That is the name and native place. Now, the second thing to keep in mind is about the education. You have to give the education in the format from recent to the earliest with mentioning the field of study and the marks obtained. So for education, we'll give recent to earliest. Now the third step is for the technical skills, you have to mention the skills and where have you used the skills in your project. Okay. Now the last thing will be the hobby. For the hobbies part, you have to mention a hobby by connecting it to the skill. Okay. That is connect the hobby to the skill. Now, the most important part of the introduction, the key strength and weaknesses. For the strengths, you have to be specific and relevant. You have to choose the strength that aligns with the job requirement. Okay, and you have to back up the answer with concrete examples. And for the weaknesses, be honest but positive. Acknowledge a weakness but frame it as an opportunity for growth. Also, you have to demonstrate that you are aware of your limitations and actively working to improve them. So, this is the way to answer the introduction part of yourself. Now, moving to the next question, we have to write a SQL query to find the nth highest salary from the employee table. For this, first we will select the salary from employee table. This code will give the salary of all the employees. Now, we have to find the nth highest salary. For that, we have to order it in the descending order. So we will use order by. This SQL query will now give the salary in descending order. And we have to find the nth highest. For this, we will use the limit function. We'll give the offset as n minus 1 and the limit will be 1. This offset will skip the number of rows. Suppose we have to find the fourth highest salary. For that, n will be 4 and 4 minus 1 will give 3. So the offset will be 3. That means we will skip the first 3 rows and after that we just take the first row as the answer. This is the answer to the SQL query. Now for the third question, suppose the table given is this one. The first query is to update the location of the employee named C to Hyderabad. For this, we will use the update command, update table name, that is employee, and we have to set the location. Set relocation equals to Hyderabad. And for which employee? For employee C. For that, we will use the where clause. This will update the table. That is this table. The record which will be updated is this one. Over here, it will be Hyderabad. Now, for the second part, we have to list the names of employees who reside in multiple locations. The first thing we can see is that we have to list the names. That is, select names from employee table. This will give the names of all the employees, and we have to use group by. And we have to group the data using the name. As we can see, the names, if the person is residing at multiple places, the name column is also redundant over here. Okay, for that, I will group the data by the name. And we have to filter out the results. For that, I will be using having clause. This query will select the names of the employees by grouping them according to the name and checking if the count is greater than 1. If the count is greater than 1, then a name will be displayed. Okay. Now, moving on to the fourth question. It is a scenario based question. So, you have compiled a Java source code and you need to run it on a different system. How to tackle this question? The first thing is that when a Java source code is compiled, it is converted into the bytecode. Okay. And for running the bytecode, we need to have a JVM. Now, to run the compiled Java code on another system, first we have to ensure that we have to transfer the .class file, that is the bytecode, with all the dependencies. That is, ensure the first step is to ensure that we transfer all the .class files, that is bytecode with all the dependencies. And for this, we can use GitHub. Now, the next step is to ensure the system where we will run the code has JDK installed in it. If it is installed, then we'll check if the class path is set or not. If the system doesn't have the JDK, we will download and install the compatible JDK. And after that, we have to set the class path. Now, with all these steps, we'll be able to run the compiled, that is bytecode. Okay. Now, coming to the fifth question, we have to explain the key differences between the REST and SOAP based web services. So, REST is lightweight, stateless, and uses JSON or XML for data exchange, whereas SOAP is protocol based and uses XML, and it is heavyweight and has stricter standards. The answer will be so. This is the now coming to the sixth question. Is it mandatory to return only JSON object in REST API responses? So REST API can return other formats also, okay, like XML, plain text, or even HTML, depending upon the client header. So is it mandatory? No, it's not mandatory. For the project related questions, you have to keep in mind the goals of the project, okay, the technology stack used, the challenges faced, and the solutions implemented. Also, you need to highlight the contributions and the result. And for the pseudocode part, that is the eighth question, you have to break down the pseudocode in logical steps. If possible, you can write the corresponding Java or C code and then you can predict the output. Okay, so this was all that was asked by the DR. Now, coming to the questions that was asked by the MR. These questions require you to back up the answer. Means if you select a particular criteria, you have to back it up using a concrete reason. Okay, like the first question that was asked was given the choice between a machine that prevents child malnutrition, death, and one that stops all wars, which would you choose and why? So, one response can be that I would prioritize the machine that stops malnutrition deaths. Okay? Because saving lives, especially children, is fundamental for building a better future. For the second question, what do you know about TCS, its business areas, and its culture? So, for this types of question, you have to research TCS values, services, that is IT consulting, software development, recent projects, and global presence. The third question that whether you have currently any job offers from other companies. So for this question, you have to be honest. If you do, you have to mention it politely. If not, then you have to express your dedication to TCS as your focus. For the fourth question, that is, why are you interested in joining TCS? What specific aspects of the company attract you? So I can give an example answer to that. The answer would be like TCS's innovation-driven culture, global reputation, and focus on employee growth aligns with my career aspiration, and I am particularly impressed by its initiatives like TCS and its sustainability goals. Now, for the fifth question, you are standing on a riverbank, a ferry arrives full, but when it reaches you, it's empty. Why is it so? This is again a situation based question. If you answer, you have to back it up with a solid reason. Suppose the answer can be the ferry was empty when I saw it because the passengers might have disembarked earlier. Or other response will be like the ferry is completely full, but I have to accomplish a certain goal, and for that I will find my space. That's why it seems empty to me. Okay, this was all that was asked in the managerial round. Now coming to the questions that was asked by the HR. The first question is really simple. How many people are there in your family? Just have to say that we are a family of X members. My father does this work. My mother is a housewife. I have dash siblings. And for the second question, the willingness to reallocate. The response should be like, yes, I am open to reallocation and look forward to explore new places and challenges. For the third question, do you prefer day shifts or night shifts? The response should be like, I am flexible with any shifts and will adapt to organization's requirement. And for the fourth question, what is your preferred job location? Mention a location you are comfortable with, but show your openness to company needs. Okay, and that's a wrap up for today's breakdown of TCS Prime Role interview questions. I hope you found these insights helpful for your own interview preparation. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Fusion Coding. If you have any questions or want to share your interview experiences, drop a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and best of luck with your interview preparation.